First of all, thank you all for being here and giving us the opportunity to let the community know what happened yesterday and give an update on that. I'd also like to give a shout out to the community, give some support to the community, because through their efforts, the witnesses, they were able to give us information that have helped us greatly advance this case. To that end, we need to acknowledge the great work by the officers and investigators who worked throughout the night. I don't think they've slept since this incident occurred, and we have some significant progress to report. At this time, we are still investigating this incident and believe that a number of people who may have witnessed the incident are still out. They left the area prior to us being able to talk to them, and we really want to speak to everybody who witnessed this and get information. So we encourage anybody who we haven't spoken to call the Denver Police Department at our Crime Stoppers number. What we know right now, what we can share, is that at 4:04 p.m. yesterday afternoon, we received multiple calls, multiple reports of shots fired with several victims near 21st and Lawrence Street. First responders located 5 shooting victims. Each of them are adult males. 4 of the victims were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Sadly, the 5th victim was pronounced deceased at the scene. Regarding the circumstances, investigators have confirmed there was an exchange of gunfire between 2 men. One of the suspects fled the area in a vehicle, and thanks to the information provided by witnesses, we were able to track down that suspect and place him under arrest at about 8 a.m. this morning. That suspect's name is Josh Hayward, date of birth 2/11 of 94. He is currently being held for investigation of first-degree murder. The second suspect involved in this exchange of gunfire was one of the individuals who was transported to the hospital with a gunshot wound. His name is Deshae Armstrong, 12/28/94. He is facing federal weapons charges. At this time, I can't speak to the motive right now, as we still have a lot of investigative work to do. However, we do believe that this was a targeted shooting, that this was not random. Who exactly in this group was targeted remains under investigation, and our team is working hard to identify any and all participants of this crime. We are keenly aware of the challenges that we are facing in this particular area, and we are taking many proactive steps to address this. Again, this was a targeted incident and not random. So with that, we can open up for questions.
Were any of these people homeless?
So we really don't get into victimology at this point out of respect for families. We need to make sure that we notify everybody that needs to be notified. So the victimology side of things we're holding off on right now.
When you talk about the challenges in that area, we've covered many stories there with the homeless shifting in and out. And so is that what you're talking about, being proactive about?
We're talking about the gun violence. We have some areas where we are improving our ability to address gun violence, and this gives us an example. It is, one, we need to make sure that all neighborhoods in Denver are safe, and when these high-level crimes do occur, that we have the ability to get people in custody as quickly as possible, and in this case that happened. We're talking hours, not days and weeks.
Do we know how many rounds were fired?
Again, this was an exchange of gunfire, and those are details that our team is working diligently towards addressing.
Do we know what kind of
So again, information that we're going to have to keep to ourselves as this investigation. The important part to share is that the individuals that were responsible for this crime, both of them, are in custody, and that's what we need to make sure that our community that helped us in this situation, that they know that these individuals will be held accountable for their actions.
And Chief, you talk about this being a targeted shooting, but I know some people in the area are still a little uneasy just because they say they've been seeing problems there. And for example, one of them had a round fired into his car yesterday. So I know this was a targeted shooting. There were lots of people in that area.
You're correct, and the community's right to have concerns. If we have individuals that in our city decide to exchange gunfire with one another, they're putting a lot of people at risk. And I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of the community for stepping up, because we're able to hold these people accountable. People deciding to shoot at one another is something that we will not tolerate in this city, and we will work with the community to address these high levels of violence.
And I know, there's so many things going on downtown this weekend, the Christmas tree lighting, the ice skating rink is open, the parade. What would you tell families who maybe live in, suburbia and they see this on the news and they think, is it safe to bring my family downtown to maybe enjoy some of these holiday festivities?
So Denver is a remarkably safe city, and we work tirelessly with our partners, with our community, to ensure that it is safe. And the fact that we were able to get the information from a community that wasn't afraid to come forward and share that information and get individuals in custody within hours of an event demonstrates that. So our team, with all of these events, will be very aware, very diligent, and proactive in our efforts to keep the community safe. So we welcome people coming down here, and we will do everything possible to ensure their safety.
How much violence has this community seen, say, in the last year?
So in this very room is where we talk about crime strategies. In each one of Denver's 78 neighborhoods, we are tracking these levels. So we look at that, and then we make sure that we are reallocating or moving resources in order to address that.
In our research, we've seen a few happen just in the downtown area. What would you tell people who are in those communities wondering, well, what are the cops doing?
So we're a data-driven police department. We utilize and study data. I talked about this room in particular. This is where we do our crime strategy, and we're looking at every single crime, violent crime, property crime, and coming up with solutions to address that. We are very we are hotly anticipating some of our efforts moving forward as far as regional partnerships, federal partnerships that we will be able to build upon and enhance our ability to go after the most violent, the shooters, and make sure that we get them off the streets as quickly as possible, and then being proactive in order to prevent the crimes from occurring in the first place. So by using the data, by working with partnerships in collaboration with our metro area partners and our federal partners is exactly how we're doing that. So, Rick?
Help me out if you would, Chief. I'm a little slow. There were 5 people shot. 2 people had guns, and the other 3, were they targeted as well, or were they random victims?
So all I can tell you at this moment is exactly what I've already said, that this was an exchange of gunfire between 2 individuals, that 4 people were injured and 1 person was deceased, and the details as far as who was shooting and who was targeting is exactly what our investigative team, who again, they haven't gone home after the incident. They've been working this extremely hard, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do.
Right, but if it's a targeted shooting and some of the people that were injured by the gunfire were not targeted, I think people would like to know that.
It's a concern for us anytime that somebody is injured by gunfire in our city. It is completely unacceptable for any person to discharge firearms within our city. We want a safe city, and exchanging gunfire is not that. And we will continue to work as hard as our team has to ensure that people that decide to do that, that we hold them accountable for their actions.
Following up on that, the person who died, are they the ones that were targeted?
Again, there is information that we are not at liberty to say to protect the integrity of the investigation. When we talk about individuals who are brazen enough to fire weapons within our city, to exchange gunfire within our city, we need to make sure that we protect the integrity of that investigation and that we hold them to full account. That by communicating information prematurely may hamper those efforts, and that's something that we will not do. We are thankful for the community to step up, for not tolerating this, to being witnesses and comfortable enough to come forward. We want more witnesses to come forward so we can strengthen this case. But now that we have the individuals in custody, we want to make sure that we hold them fully accountable for their actions. And so there are some minor details, or there are some details that we cannot share at this moment. But that is for the protection of this investigation. We want to make sure that these individuals are, pay for what they've done and are not out on our streets, and that anybody else knows that we do not tolerate this. As a community and as a police department, we do not tolerate people firing guns in our city.
When can we expect the person who died to be ID?
So if we can just go right here. So, again, out of respect for family, we need to make sure that all of the proper notifications are done before that. So when we have the ability to do that, we will.
And Chief, I interviewed 3 business owners in the area. There seems to be a little bit of a sense of frustration. One says that he's called the cops 9 or 10 times this week. Another one said that they kept calling the cops. Sometimes they saw police out there 3 times a day with some activity in the area. They feel like officers show up and nothing is actually being done. How would you tell them they're taxpayers, they spend a lot of money, they want their customers to feel safe?
I would tell them that we stand as partners, and we will work with this neighborhood just as we do with all of Denver's 78 neighborhoods to ensure that they are as safe as possible. So this is a situation that we do not tolerate in any one of those neighborhoods, and that's evident by the response of the initial officers to the scene, as well as our investigators. They worked tirelessly through the night to ensure that we had quick resolution, that our community was safe by getting these people off the street and putting them in custody.
Last question. Can you say eliminate as a possibility that there were innocent bystanders, or are you saying all these people?
What I'd say is that an exchange of gunfire is not safe anywhere in our city, and we are investigating all aspects of that.
I have one last question. One last question, Chief.
Oops,
Can
I'm
you
sorry.
address the rising number of homicides in the last 3 years?
So again, we're a data-driven police department. We are working on some very innovative strategies to address that. In fact, in this very room is where those conversations take place. We have some new partnerships that we believe will help enhance the safety of our city and our metro area. And we'll be discussing that more in the future.
I just want to clarify, because I think what some of the reporters have touched on. So is it fair to say that you cannot say whether or not innocent bystanders were caught up in this?
I'm saying that an exchange of gunfire is a very dangerous situation, and at this moment in time, I feel very comfortable sharing the information that I did as far as the 2 individuals that were placed under arrest and are being charged with the appropriate crime. And the additional details are something that our team that let me remind you that hasn't slept. That this is such a priority for us. In this city, that we will work through those details, and when we can share them without damaging the integrity of the investigation and the prosecution, then we will do that. Thank you. Appreciate y'all for being here.